In Hangar Bay 9, under the cold metal halls of the Zarathi Dominion's warship, something big and ugly lay chained to the floor. It didn't move, it didn't growl, it only breathed slow, like it didn't care if the world forgot it was. Alive, that thing was a war wolf, a beast built for battle, a living weapon. But this one looked wrong. Its fur was patchy, burned, dirty. One eye was a white blur, useless. Its other eye glowed a deep yellow, like fire trapped in ice. Its body was crooked, too wide in the chest, one leg twisted with metal plates that sparked when it moved. Even its breathing was strange, like it had once been torn open and stitched back badly. It was the ugly one, the broken one. The one the Emperor wanted gone. Above the hangar on a platform made of gold and glass, the Emperor of the Zarathi Dominion stood. His long robe dragged behind him, his fingers covered in shining rings. He didn't look at the beast. He just waved one jeweled hand. "Kill it," he said, voice soft but cold. "I won't have it near the coronation arena. It's unfit." The guards hesitated. They had heard the stories. This ugly beast had once dragged the Emperor out of a Alizé. Burning wreck on Triner 6, it had torn through enemy lines like a ghost. When all the other war beasts failed, this one didn't. It had saved the Emperor's life. But now the Emperor didn't care. He only saw its ugly face. The guards looked at each other, unsure. One stepped forward to unlock the chain. That's when a voice came from the back. Wait, it wasn't loud, but it stopped everything. All heads turned. Near a fuel rig, standing with a wrench on his belt and a welding visor flipped up on his head, was a human. Small, short, messy hair tied back. His overalls were stained with grease. His boots were worn down from long hours. He didn't look like a soldier. He didn't even look like someone important. But he stepped forward. "Did you say you're killing that wolf?" he asked, wiping his hands on a cloth. The guards frowned. One of the nobles hissed, "You will not speak to the Emperor." "I ain't," the man said calmly. "I'm talking to you." He looked straight at the guard. "Name's Jae-yoon. Civilian mechanic. It's level 2. I fix things the Dominion throws away." The Emperor raised an eyebrow. "You want it?" he asked, a sharp smile forming on his face. A broken beast. Hideous. Malformed. Dangerous. Jay looked at the beast. It didn't move. Still chained. Still silent. He took a breath. "I fixed uglier things." The nobles laughed. The Emperor laughed too. "Fine," he said, "but don't cry when it rips your throat out." He turned and walked away. When the hangar emptied, Jay approached the werewolf. He didn't talk right away, just looked. At it, the wolf looked back. "It's glowing. I didn't blink." Its body didn't shift. It was watching. Jay knelt down slowly. "Say you saved him," he said, voice soft. "Dragged his royal butt out of fire." The wolf didn't answer. "Of course it couldn't speak," Jay smiled. "Yeah, I thought so." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a piece of grilled fungus, warm and wrapped in cloth. "You hungry?" The wolf didn't move. Jay placed the food near the chain and stepped back. The next day, he took the beast to a forgotten bay, deep under the hangar decks. A dark place, full of old junk and broken machines. No cameras, no eyes. For 3 days, Jay worked. He cleaned the wounds, removed melted armor bits from its legs, found tiny metal spikes hidden behind its ears, tracking devices, maybe even pain. Triggers? He cut them out one by one. He didn't wear armor, didn't carry a weapon. But the wolf never hurt him. It just watched every day. Jay fed it by hand. He talked while he worked. "They call you broken," he said once, as he cleaned. "The burns. But I see you." Another time, while changing the servo near its back paw, he said, "You know, I had a brother, Bo-yoon. Served in the Dominion Navy. Good man. Smart. Funny. Loyal." The wolf tilted its head slightly. Jay sighed. "In some stupid raid, the Emperor wanted a show, sent them into a trap, didn't care." He paused. "I couldn't save my brother," he whispered. "But maybe I can save something." On the 5th night, while Jay slept on a mat beside the wall, The wolf limped over. It didn't growl, it didn't snarl, it just lay down beside him, its big, scarred body curled around Jay like an old Earthguard dog. Jay didn't wake up scared. He didn't move away. He just whispered, eyes still closed, "We're not done yet." He named the wolf Scrap, because that's what the Dominion thought. He was just Scrap. But Jay saw more. He had a plan. The coronation games were coming. A grand event before the Emperor's second crowning. It's the biggest show in the stars. Warriors, war beasts, even nobles would fight for glory. Millions would watch. Billions, maybe. The Emperor had 7 beasts lined up, all shining. It's all perfect. Jay had won a rejected beast, an ugly one, but one with rage, still burning deep inside. He signed up. They laughed at him. The nobles called him a fool. A dirty human with a junkyard pet. "Let him enter," the Emperor said when he heard the news. "It will be amusing." Jay didn't answer them. He just looked at Scrap and nodded. The day of the trials came. The arena was deep inside an asteroid, carved from black stone, surrounded by shields and bright lights. Seats filled with nobles, warlords, and rulers from 100 systems. The Emperor sat under a glowing canopy, golden light surrounding him. He smiled. The first gate opened. Beasts charged in. Huge monsters with armor and weapons on their backs. Some had acid fangs. Others had plasma claws. Roared and screamed, ready to kill, and then Scrap walked in. He didn't roar, he didn't run, he just moved like a shadow. Like something built for only one thing ending the fight. The crowd laughed. "Ugly," someone shouted. "Slow," said another. But then Scrap moved. Fast, sharp, clean. He didn't fight with rage. He fought with focus. One by one, he brought them down. No wasted steps, no wild attacks. He cracked bones, tore armor, dodged plasma and acid like he'd done it 1,000 times before. He read the fight like a soldier, like a general, like a ghost of war. By the time the 5th beast fell, the crowd stopped laughing. By the time the 6th dropped, with its silver tusks torn out, the arena went silent. Only one remained: Scrap, blood on his teeth, scars shining under the red lights. And then he looked up at the Emperor. Straight at him, the Emperor stood. His voice rang out. "That beast," he said, "it's mine." Gasps echoed through the arena. From the dust, Jay stepped forward. His clothes were dirty, his face smeared with oil, but his voice was calm. "No, your radiance," he said. "It was yours. You threw it away." The Emperor narrowed his eyes. "Then whose is it?" Jay looked at Scrap. Then he stepped beside the werewolf and placed a hand gently on its back. "Mine." For a moment, the arena was silent. Jay stood with his hand on Scrap's back. The ugly werewolf didn't move. He only stared at the Emperor with his burning yellow eye. The Emperor's lips tightened. His gold robes moved as he stepped forward, rage hiding behind his smooth voice. "You dare challenge my word, human?" he asked. "You forget your place." Jay didn't blink. "No, I remember my place. It's where you put everything broken, everything ugly, everything you think has no value." The nobles whispered in their seats. Some looked shocked, others looked afraid. Jay pointed at Scrap. "This beast saved your life. You tossed him aside like trash." He touched his chest. "My brother died under your command. You tossed him aside too." The Emperor's hand lifted slowly. One of the guards raised his weapon. Scrap growled for the first time. It was low, deep, a sound like a mountain waking up. The guard froze. The Emperor laughed, though his voice shook. "Fine, keep your beast. Walk out of here, but this isn't over." Jay said nothing. He turned and walked away. Scrap followed, and no one dared stop them. By the next day, the entire Dominion had seen the broadcast. The video played on every screen and every station, every colony, every warship. The crowd's silence, the Emperor's shock, the ugly werewolf, and the human mechanic, walking out like legends. Whispers spread fast. People asked questions. Who was this human? Why did the Emperor throw away a beast that saved him? Why did a civilian fix what the Empire wanted dead? Jay didn't care about the attention. He only wanted to work, so he and Scrap began to move, from one world to another, from one broken place to the next. Jay fixed ships for free. Scrap protected the weak pirates, who used to raid villages now ran when they saw a shadow move through the dust. Bandits who stole water from desert colonies disappeared, their weapons crushed, their vehicles ripped apart. Some said the war wolf could smell fear, others said he could understand words, but no one ever said he was ugly again. They called him Scrap the Brave. They called Jay the Wolf Master. And still, they kept moving in the Dominion Palace. The Emperor sat alone. He watched the video again, and again. Every time, paused it at the same moment when Scrap looked up. When that yellow eye burned into the camera, that beast was mine. He whispered, "Mine." But it wasn't anymore, and he hated it. One of his generals stepped forward. "Shall we order a hunt?" The Emperor didn't answer at first. Then he nodded. "Yes," quietly. "I want the human alive. I want the beast dead." The hunt began. Jay knew they were coming. He always knew. One day, while fixing a coolant pipe on a moon base, he looked up and whispered, "They'll try to take you from me." Scrap sat beside him, silent as always. Jay looked into his glowing eye. "I won't let them." He tapped Scrap's metal collar. "We need help." So they found others. Old engineers, tired soldiers, people who had lost things to the Dominion. Some helped fix parts, built armor for Scrap, a lightweight shell that could stop plasma fire, but still let him move. One man gave Jay a small ship. It was ugly slow. Jay smiled. Perfect. He named it Patchwork. They left the moon base and went dark. On a frozen planet called Duravi, the Emperor's hunters found them. 4 dropships, 16 elite troopers in black armor. They came at night. They landed silent. They moved fast. But Scrap moved faster. He tore through the snow, like a ghost. His body slammed into one of the drop. Shipsend ripped the engine out with his teeth. The rest tried to fire. Jay shouted from the ridge, "Don't you touch him." He fired a homemade EMP burst that shut down half their suits. The other half tried to run. Scrap didn't chase them. He stood beside Jay, chest rising and falling, eyes locked on the sky, because more were coming. And this time, not just hunters. The Emperor was sending a fleet. On board the Emperor's warship, the Emperor himself stood by the screen. He watched as the location of Scrap and Jay flashed red. He smiled. "End this." Jay knew they couldn't run forever. He called together everyone who had helped him, mechanics, farmers, pilots, even a few nobles who were tired of the Emperor's games. He stood in a broken hangar, oil on his hands, eyes tired but sharp. "We can't beat them in numbers," he said, "but we can show the galaxy what real loyalty looks like." Scrap stood beside him, armored and ready. Jay looked up at him. "You're not a mistake. You're not a monster. You're the best thing I've ever fixed." He put his forehead against Scrap's. "Let's make them remember. It's the final battle. Didn't happen in a royal arena. It happened on the edge of space. On a broken satellite, stationed above a dead planet. The Dominion fleet came fast. But Jay's people were ready. They turned mining lasers into cannons. They reprogrammed delivery bots into defense drones and Scrap. He became a shadow in space. He launched from the ship like a missile, landed on enemy hulls, tore through metal like paper. One by one, the warships fell into fire. The Emperor's voice echoed through the last channel. "Stop! This is madness," Jay answered, calm as ever. "You made it madness when you threw us away." Then he shut the channel. When the smoke cleared, the Dominion fleet was broken. The Emperor's warship limped away, damaged and silent, and the galaxy watched. They watched a human mechanic and a once ugly warwolf destroy the Empire's pride. They watched the forgotten rise. They watched loyalty win. Months later, Jay and Scrap walked into a small town on a backwater moon. No one said a word. Then a child ran up to them. She held out a broken toy. "Can you fix this?" Jay knelt down, smiling. Of course. He looked at Scrap. The werewolf sat beside him, peaceful, watching behind them. The sun rose. A new day. A better day. And the story of the wolf and the mechanics spread again. But now it had a new ending. They were not broken. They were free.